Welcome back to Inside the Messy Middle, a special series from the Inner Game of Change. This series explores what it means to carry responsibility between strategy and delivery, between what has been imagined and what must now be made real. Today I want to talk about a moment many people working in change will recognize. It is the moment when direction has been announced, momentum has begun, but clarity has not fully arrived. The strategy is clear enough to begin, but not clear enough to remove all uncertainty, and still, the work must move forward. In textbooks and project plans, change often appears orderly. First comes strategy, then design, then implementation. But inside real organizations, things rarely unfold in such a tidy sequence. Often the direction is declared while parts of the design are still forming. Questions remain open, dependencies are still being discovered, yet people in the middle are expected to begin moving. This is one of the quiet realities of living in the messy middle, acting before clarity has fully arrived. Management scholar Henry Mintzberg observed something important about strategy. In many organizations, strategy does not arrive fully designed and then get executed exactly as planned. Instead, it often emerges through action. People begin moving, they test ideas, they adjust as reality responds. Understanding grows alongside the work rather than before it. History shows something similar in very different circumstances. When the explorer Ernest Shackleton set out on his Antarctic expedition in 1914, the plan was clear: cross the Antarctic continent. But when his ship, the Endurance, became trapped and eventually crushed in the ice, the plan disappeared. From that moment on, Shackleton was no longer executing a carefully designed strategy. He was leading through uncertainty. Each step required judgment. Each decision was made with incomplete information. The goal remained clear, though, but the path had to be discovered along the way. Organizational change often feels like that. The direction may be known, but the terrain is still being explored, and people in the middle carry a particular responsibility during these moments. Teams are looking for answers, senior leaders are expecting progress, but the full picture is still emerging. So the role of the middle becomes something subtle, not pretending to have all the answers, but helping the organization move responsibly while understanding continues to develop. It is a balance between momentum and judgment, between action and reflection. There is another dimension to this moment that is worth recognizing. The absence of full clarity is not always a weakness. Sometimes it creates the very conditions where innovation can happen. When every detail is already decided, the work becomes execution. But when parts of the picture are still forming, people inside the work begin discovering better ways forward. They experiment, they adapt, they find solutions that could not have been designed from a distance. In that sense, a little uncertainty can be surprisingly productive. It invites contribution, it invites thinking, it invites people to shape the change rather than simply implement it. The poet T.S. Eliot captured something similar when reflecting on exploration. He wrote that we do not stop exploring, and that often we arrive back at where we started but understand it for the first time. I really like that. In many ways, organizational change works like that. Understanding does not always appear before the journey begins. Often it appears because people were willing to start moving. At the same time, this moment carries a real human cost. Not everyone is comfortable moving without clear direction. Some people need certainty before they can begin, and that is understandable. Ambiguity creates anxiety for professionals who take their responsibilities seriously. Inside the messy middle, leaders often hold this tension, helping those who are ready to begin exploring the path, while giving others the space to join once the picture becomes clearer. Some people begin moving early. Others begin moving once the path becomes visible. Both are part of how organizations learn. Over time, something interesting happens. When organizations pass through moments like this repeatedly, people begin building what you might call change muscles. They become more comfortable acting with partial information. They learn that clarity can emerge through movement rather than only before it. And gradually, the organization becomes more capable of navigating complexity. Inside the messy middle, leadership often looks less like certainty and more like steadiness, helping people move forward without pretending that everything is already known. Because in many moments of change, clarity is not the starting point. It is the result of thoughtful movement. Inside the messy middle, clarity rarely arrives before movement. More often, it appears because people were willing to begin. Until next time.